Today we're going to do a little video on building, or try to anyway. Alright. This is me. The first thing to do, let's just make a happy little block. Move this to the side. I tend to not use stretch textures, and very rarely do I stretch both sides. We won't be needing this at the moment. And let's make sure snap is set up correctly to suit 0.025. Alright, that'll be just fine. Do not use snap to subunits. Alright, let's make our block blank. First thing you want to do is center your block. Here we go. We got the y-axis, the x-axis, and the z-axis. Not necessarily in that order. X, Y, Z. When using snap, you want to... Okay, we're on world at the moment. We'll start with world. I'll be switching back and forth between world and local. World corresponds to the sim, and local corresponds to the object's orientation. They change the orientation of the axis, the X, Y, and Z axis. So, world X is going west to east, as shown in the mini-map here. Y is going north to south. And Z is going up and down. Let's see what local looks like. Okay, it's the same. Alright, if I turn the block, change its orientation in relation to the sim. Say, right, like this. See, on world, it stays the same as the sim, so that you can move it in relation to the sim. Local changes it to where you're moving it in relation to the object. Alright? Control Z undoes, reverts any changes you've made. Alright. So we'll, like I said, we'll center. Always want to center your work. So let's see, 17 and 83, and then Z will make that 28. could have more quickly done that by just typing in the parameters within the position area of the Object tab. Alright, just for convenience of showing how the axes work, that's how we'll do it. One more thing. When using Snap, Snap enables these lines along the side of your axis, and when you hold your cursor inside the line, it doesn't snap. When you hold outside the line, that's when it snaps. So it's snapping by 0.025 right now. For some odd, strange reason, the snap coordinates are only observed when your camera is near what you're moving or adjusting. If I were to zoom out or move my camera out, I'm not zooming, I'm moving the camera out. Zooming would be Control 0 or Control 8. Control 9 resets. I like to. It's also can also be considered your field of view. I like a little bit closer than usual. One click closer on the Control 0. Anyway. Alright, so to center it back here. There we go. Alright, for today's lesson, let's add a little, before we start, add a little shininess, just to give it a little bling. Make the specular blank, and we'll make the glossy, let's see, it's pretty nice. Yeah, we'll make the glossy 40, maybe make the shine something other than white, so that it looks different than the floor. How about this emerald color? Alright. Anyway. Alright. Go back to the Object tab. Say you want to make your walls point or 1/10 in width. That's what we'll go with. Alright. Now, the goal isn't to make anything in particular, such as a house or anything. So I'm just gonna jump next to the next part, which would be connecting another piece to this one. And some people would be using the align mode. I like to just simply switch the parameters the axis orientation to local. I'm going to hold shift, drag out the x-axis, and when in local, your snap lines, no matter what your snap is currently set on, as long as what was that? As long as snap to subunits isn't selected, your snap lines for local will always be in increments of 1/2 the size of your object. So snap out 2 times, and that's going to be 1 times the size, and that's going to be right up against your object, your previous, right? Also, let's raise this up just a bit. Hold shift and select objects. That allows you to select more than one to move them both. Still in local, that's fine for now. Hold shift, unselect that one, and let's drag out a copy of this, make a little floor to our wall. Alright, instead of rotating this piece and moving it to create a floor, I'm going to transform it by holding Control and Shift together at once, and then we're going to switch this to world to go back to our 0.025 increments and make this 1/10 as well, as shown up here at the top within your parameter box. Here, yeah. And then let's see, we got a height and length of 0.5. So that's going to add to the overall height as of 0.6/6. So I'm going to make this 0.6. Alright. Now let's just, okay. And notice when we switch to local, the orientation of our pieces, their rotation in relation to each other is the same. So notice, for example, the y-axis is pointing according to our mini-map to the north. It's doing that for the same pieces, all the pieces. For example, if I go to my house here, all the pieces are facing the same direction. All the pieces, all the pieces y-axis is pointing to the north. what this does is it maintains the uniformity of the object, whatever you're building, as it is linked and moved. If you were to make something and have the rotations different and link them, especially when you have different shapes other than four-sided objects, such as, say, the platform for this floor, going around the staircase. See, it's all pointing north for the y-axis. If you were to not do that, then you'd have a higher chance of the pieces becoming skewed within the link set. You may have, say, this Y or X rotation be off by 0.2 or 0.1. Just, it's weird how SL can do that for link sets, but it happens, and it's a lot less likely to happen when you maintain the orientation of each of your pieces in the same direction. Alright, I'm going to let's go ahead and link this to this. I need to uncheck that and link. Whoops. That didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Okay. Well, let's change the root then. I want this bottom piece to be the root for now. So, must have done that because I selected them while I had edit linked selected. Alright, the best way to change the root is to either create a new piece or unlink a child piece. Don't unlink the root prim, the other one, because all the other pieces are based upon the location and orientation of the root. So we'll unlink this child piece. Alright. And then we'll select that last piece last, right? Alright. Alright. Let's create a new piece. Build. Right. And select edit linked. Make sure our rotation is the same. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. Copy the position and paste. Alright. And so got a local. This is a copy and it's taking up the same space as this piece. So So we'll just, with local selected, drag out 1 times in that direction to duplicate this piece and align it directly against the previous. Alright, I'm going to use stretch both sides, world, see, 1.5 and 1.5. Alright. Okay. Now I'm going to make this bottom piece the prim, the root prim link. Alright. Okay. Doesn't resemble anything, but all the pieces are centered, and we'll go from there. Doing it this way, you have, as you're building, you have no overlapping pieces. Everything, as long as you follow the parameters of the world to maintain the center of your objects, and you're able to keep everything aligned, you'll never have any z-fighting, surface fighting between your objects, and things will look as they're supposed to. That's it for now. I may come back with another lesson. Going to expand on textures next time. Textures are so much easier than they used to be, and particular viewers have made it much easier to align textures and apply material sets, diffuse, normal, specular maps. Alright, but making sure your pieces are aligned properly, sitting right up against each other. See, it makes it so much easier. Takes the guesswork out of everything, and right now I'm selecting as face. That allows you to select individual surfaces of an object instead of the entire object. It's how you properly texture things. Apply textures and tint. Anyway, I'm just doing this to differentiate between these two pieces here. If I zoom in or move my camera, you'll see it is right up against that piece, other piece. There are no burrs. It's not off anyhow. said, maintain the orientation of all your pieces, no matter what it is. See? That piece is same direction as that piece, all the pieces, and it's all part of the link set. Okay. Notice also I have this larger piece as the root. That's part of the floor. It's better when a larger piece that's centralized within the link set is the root. It's better able to cover and surround your children objects that it's linked to, which it provides the coordinates for their position. And plus also when you're editing the object, say if you were editing as root, when you edit as root, your axis or your focus point for that object is in the center of your root. So yeah, just like that. All right. Okay. Didn't want to make this video very long. I'm going to keep it simple, short, better than the last one. Alright, off I go. See ya.